Hello everybody, welcome in to Trackalicious. Happy Monday, hope you had a great weekend. And now, we're here to make your week start off with a bang. It's the GT4 rookies. Hello Callie, just a little bit early on that subscription. We would have caught it on the stream. Thank you very much for the sub on a 25-month streak. A little bit over 2 years. Thanks so much, Callie. But Barreto beat you. He was here first. Welcome in, everybody. Hope you are doing well. Back from illness. Apologies for not being able to stream on Wednesday. But we're back today, and we will be back on Wednesday as well for the ACC series. But tonight, we have the GT4 rookies around Donington Park, set in the beautiful English countryside. Let's head to the track and see what our GT4 rookie drivers are getting up to this evening. An absolutely full grid tonight. 20 drivers in the server. And here is how the conditions look. Nice and sunny. One of our race winners from last week, Giancarlo Bottini, in the 57 Firebrand Ginetta, sitting in the pit lane, while his teammate in the Firebrand Aston Martin, John Kilcoyne, also race winner from last week. And you're right, Dr. Porkchop, that is almost a year. In fact, in another 11 months, it'll be 3 years. Quick maths for you there. And John Kilcoyne returns back to the pits to join Giancarlo Bottini. And Barreto's in the chat. Barreto's on track as well in the number 6 AMG, going down the hill into the old hairpin at turn 4. Looking to get a lap on the board still early in our first qualifying session. It's a 15-minute session to determine the grid order for the first 20-minute race that precedes the end of the qualifying session. If you are new to the rookies, the format is a 15-minute qualifying, 20-minute race, and then double it up. So we will have another qualifying session and another 20-minute race to follow after that here at round 4 in Donington Park. Going through the S's now as JP Barreto looks to get a lap on the board. Going into the final sector, just 2 hairpins separate him from the start-finish line. As he approaches the 12th and final corner at Donington, will we get our first valid lap on the board? The Manga Racing comes across, and it is a valid lap, a 137.517 for the rest of the field to chase. Callum Flood next across the line of the KTM, about 8 tenths behind. We've got Blanchard's biggest fan. Welcome in. Hope you're doing well. Josh Ransom goes to the top, a 136.712, 8 tenths clear of the time set by JP Barreto, and there is the 325 going through the first and second corner before shooting back down the hill through the Craner curves and into the old hairpin of, it's called the old hairpin, but it is just a mere tap on the brakes before slinging the car to the right-hand side, hoping the tires can grip underneath the huge stress before shooting back up the hill into McLean's. And now a chance to breathe after going out of Coppice onto the Starkey's straight. Just a little bit of a breather before a very tight chicane. Very quick, though, at the S's. Turn 9 and 10. Josh Ransom handling it beautifully. We're trying to finish out the lap on a high note. Already a handful of drivers able to get past Josh Ransom in his provisional pole efforts. Manhita on top with Robinson in second, then JP Barreto able to improve his time up to third with Prakash Natasan sitting behind him in fourth. Where will Josh Ransom be able to improve on this lap, if he will be able to do so? Just under the 10-minute mark of the qualifying session. Lots of Ginettas in the field this evening. That is fun to see, and no improvements, unfortunately, from Josh Ransom as Timu Pessinen goes ahead of him to be the quickest Ginetta in the 111. John Baptist in the Trinity Racing number 7 Porsche going through turn 11, Melbourne's hairpin. And now just one braking zone, one turn to the left, separating him from a chance to improve his pole position time. Currently on the board in 13th place. Where will this lap put him? Improves his time by about a few seconds. Needs a little bit more to get Callum Flood up ahead of him, as we have Scarlett Brown now taking provisional pole in the 742 Porsche. 135.762, the time to chase down at the front. Here, Blanchard's biggest fan can get some eye candy as this Liam Blanchard going through to start a hot lap in the 84 Firebrand Ginetta. We are predicting that the Firebrand Ginetta, or not the Ginetta, but the Firebrand team is going to cook tonight. They have been on the podium a number of times this season between Giancarlo Bottini and John Kilcoyne in the 44 Aston Martin. He is, in fact, your championship leader at the moment as it stands, John Kilcoyne. But more on that later on. Now it is time for Liam Blanchard to try and get a time on the board, as we are exactly halfway into the qualifying session. Still no time on the board from the 84, but this may yet change on this lap here. Little sneak peek on board from the passenger side of the Ginetta. It's now just Goddard's corner, separating Blanchard from a chance to get on the board. Where will this lap put Liam Blanchard? He goes into the top 10 with a 137.700. A change at the top for provisional pole as well. It is now Robin Robinson with a 135.397, about 3.5 tenths clear of Scarlett Brown's time. Where will Lan Cloud go in the KTM? The 434 sitting outside the top 10 now gets a spot inside the top 10, pushes Liam Blanchard to 11th, while Lan Cloud in the Grip Runners KTM. Lovely to see that livery again. Welcome back, Lan. Hope you've been doing well. And into the top 10 goes the KTM. Let's check in with fellow KTM driver Hezzy Thomas. He's got a Porsche behind him for company. Currently his best lap, a 139.272, as he takes the very inside line. That will definitely not favor the lap time of the KTM, but still looking for an improvement with one corner to go. So Hezzy Thomas to the line under the BMW advertising, and very close to his time, but still time on the board for him to get a couple of laps in and improve his personal best. Currently sitting in 15th place, and not too far off the provisional pole time as well. Teemu Pessinen in the 111 Ginetta, going deep into the final corner. Unfortunately invalidating his qualifying effort there. But we'll hopefully get a good run out of that final corner to start another lap here. Currently the highest qualifying Ginetta in 7th place. That's Teemu Pessinen here. And looking for an improvement still. Oh, and running wide at turn 1, but not wide enough to invalidate the lap, but slowing the Ginetta down as it drifts through there in dramatic fashion, kicking up the dust. Duarte Manhita in the 77 AMG looking to get on the front row, improves his time but can't improve his position. Needs another few tenths to move one of the two Porsches out from the front row. Currently it's an all Porsche front row with Robin Robinson leading the way. And as we saw the Ginetta of Pessinen do, Duarte Manhita does the same thing. A little bit wide at turn 1. Oh my goodness, and Josh Ransom is all over the road there. There's the V10 of Chris Saunderson approaching. Currently sitting just outside the top 10. Needs a few tenths to get ahead of Liam Blanchard, who has found himself back inside the top 10. After getting moved down a few laps ago, he himself has improved and sits behind Dr. Porkchop in 9th. And Saunderson here in 11th, looking to improve the Audi. Or improve the Audi's time, I should say. We'll check in with Saunderson at the end of his lap as Prakash Natasan is ending his latest qualifying effort, looking to improve past the AMG of Barreto, and he does so and also gets past John Kilcoyne to move up to the 2nd row alongside Manhita. And back with Chris Saunderson. Through the final hairpin he goes. Is this the lap for the Audi for an improvement? Maybe on an outlap here still. And unable to improve his time. I think he was on an outlap there, so this will be one of his last chances to get a time in. And Liam Blanchard getting a friendly tow from the 44 Aston in front, improves his time to a 1:37.042 to solidify his position inside the top 10 and build that gap over Chris Saunderson behind. So that 1:35.397 from Robin Robinson, still the time to chase here in the 24 Porsche. Going through the McLean's corner and through Coppice. Very tricky to get the grip out of the corner, but you need to as it leads on to this straight here. Through the S's, invalidating the lap, cutting a little bit too far on the inside. Dr. Porkchop goes across the line and onto the front row. A huge improvement from the Aston Martin at the end of the qualifying session here to displace Scarlett Brown to 3rd, and Dr. Porkchop spoils the Porsche front row. Field getting very bunched up at the end of the qualifying session here. Just 20 seconds left in the qualifying. Those drivers, oh, and Hezzy Thomas goes deep. Doc Milby a little late, but hey, always happy to have you here, my friend. Hope you had a good weekend. Hope you had a good Monday up until this point as well. As Hezzy Thomas a little bit wild through the final corner, unable to get an improvement on this lap. So now with the time at 0, it is now or never to get those valid laps in. JP Barreto squiggling out of turn 1. Dr. Porkchop, just one corner left, looking for an improvement on this lap. Already got onto the front row. Can he make it the top spot of the front row? Needs a good 3/10 to get up to the time of Robinson, and unable to do it on this lap. So second will be the best that the Chop Shop Racing Aston Martin will finish, should the rest of the field stay the same. Next to cross the line, Chris Saunderson needs a big jump to get inside the top 10, currently in 12th, and he gets that big jump he needs and moves the Audi into the top 10. Everybody else behind invalidating their lap. It's just up to Landcloud, and he invalidates as well. So 12th will be where Landcloud starts in the 3-4-3 Ginetta for the first race, but it's Robin Robinson on top, on pole position to start things off here in the first race. And so with the grid being set for the first race, let's go through our grid walk. On pole position, you got Robin Robinson in the Transrights X-Tan B Performance 24 Porsche starting from pole position. Alongside will be Dr. Porkchop in second in the 71 Chop Shop Racing Aston Martin. Next, you have Scarlett Brown in a matching 742 Porsche, the Transrights X-Tan B Performance coming out in full swing here, starting from third. Next, you have Duarte Manhita in the NM Racing 77 AMG, starting from fourth. Inside the top 5, Prakash Natasan in the Dark Side Racing AMG starts alongside your championship leader, John Kilcoyne, in the Firebrand number 44 Aston Martin. He will start from 6th. Leading the 4th row is João Pedro Barreto in the Mange Racing number 6 AMG. Lots of AMGs inside the top 10 here. Alongside him, Teemu Pessinen in the 111 Ginetta, starting from 8th. In 9th place, you've got Josh Ransom in the 325 TVR Ginetta, one of 5 on track this evening. Alongside him and rounding out the top 10 is Chris Saunderson in the number 18 Allison Racing. In 11th place is Liam Blanchard in the Firebrand team. This is the 84 Ginetta, starting from 11th. The lead KTM is Landcloud in the 434 Grip Runners machine. Behind him, fellow KTM driver Callum Flood in the Apex GP 87, starting from 13th. Sharing the 7th row with Flood is Rally Dutchy in the Kuzata Racing Academy 621 Ginetta. Next is Lily Yoshimi in the VTubers with Disabilities number 79 McLaren, starting inside the top 15. Alongside will be Hezi Thomas in 16th in the Dogbox Racing number 59 KTM. Christopher Douglas representing the lone Camaro on the grid this evening in the 718 V8 Racing. Next in 18th is John Baptist in the Trinity Racing number 7 Porsche. And last but not least, one of our 2 race winners from last week, Giancarlo Bottini, serving a qualifying ban, but he will be able to start from the grid this evening as the grid gets underway here. So that is our grid walk complete. And here is how the point system works. The race winner gets 23 points, 20 for second, 18 for third, 17 for fourth, 16 for fifth, and 15 points for sixth. And then it is 1 point down all the way up until 20th. And so it is still important to finish to get those all-important championship points on the board this evening. There is, of course, the 1 drop round to consider of the 8 rounds in the championship. We got a livery deep dive of Take My Pick. We will get one of those. Just a second. Actually, we'll do it right now, because I really love the livery of Landcloud. Metallic purple. Very shiny in this lighting as well. One of my favorite liveries I've seen in a long time. And it's good to see Landcloud back on the grid from a little bit of a hiatus. Welcome back, Land. Hope you've been doing well. There's a quick livery look at Landcloud in one of the 3 KTMs this evening, as the grid gets set in zipper formation, getting lined up side by side. Hopefully they've got themselves ready for the race start this evening. 19 drivers on the grid, 17 taking the start, 2 of them from the pit lane, and it is all to play for here. Lots of points on offer between the 2 races, 20 minutes of action, and here we go. Green, green, green. Robinson getting a good start, pushing Porkchop already into second place. Scarlet Brown trying to go through the inside of turn 1. Very tricky to get the grip around the outside, and it looks like that's going to be a Porsche 1-2 out of turn 1. Barreto gets a good jump from 6th all the way up to 4th, and Dr. Porkchop trying to find a way through, and there's a Mercedes spinning in the back there. Not sure who that was, but most of the grid able to get through. Teemu Pessinen gets a good jump as well in the lead. Janetta, the 111, moving up to into the top 5, and it looks like that was the 84 of, I can't tell who the 84, but not to San and Josh Ransom, both starting from the pits. They were not quite up to that scene of the incident yet, and the 325 off and into the gravel. JP Barreto looking aggressive here, trying to get by Dr. Porkchop onto a podium position. And that's Chris Saunderson with a great jump from 10th to 6th behind this battling trio here, as the 2 Porsches continue to lead the way. It is Robinson leading from Brown, and that's a late move from João Pedro Barreto to get alongside and through Dr. Porkchop and into 3rd. Dr. Porkchop, he's gonna fight it back, having a look down the inside. They're gonna battle side by side. One of the Porsches goes wide. Who was that? Side by side contact between Porkchop and Barreto as the Janetta continues to go through. That's Pessinen up to 4th. And down the inside, Dr. Porkchop, can he stick the move? He lost it that way in turn 1, lap 1, but he learned from that mistake and makes the move back on Robinson. it is Scarlett Brown that leads now after Robin Robinson went a little bit wide at the final corner and allowed Dr. Porkchop now to sneak up to second place. Teemu Pessinen up to fourth, JP Barreto shuffling down to fifth, and John Kilcoyne back up to sixth ahead of Chris Saunderson. And how about this from the lone Camaro, starting from 17th and up to 8th place. But the battle we all want to see is right here inside the top three. Robin Robinson bumper to bumper, front to back with Dr. Porkchop as the inside opens up and the two Porsches take each other out. And there is further carnage behind as Dr. Porkchop gets turned the wrong way around. Chris Saunderson getting turned. And it is championship leader John Kilcoyne taking full advantage and into the race lead. Oh my goodness me. Robin Robinson trying to make the move on Dr. Porkchop just went a little bit too deep and in the process took out Scarlett Brown out of or into the 11th corner there. But the driver that coming off worse for wear was Dr. Porkchop. He gets thrown all the way back to 14th. Rally Duchy side by side with Lily Yoshimi, and there's Giancarlo Bottini starting from the back of the grid, working his way up to ninth and trying not to get involved in any contact here between the battling Lily Yoshimi and Rally Duchy, who have both made up quite a few number of places, and that's one of the Porsches going slowly. That's the 742 of Scarlett Brown. Lily Yoshimi gets through. Giancarlo Bottini trying to go around the outside, but Rally Duchy, great defensive stance from the 621, not allowing Bottini to go through, but I think here he's going to have a pretty decent overlap to try and fight for this position into the Melbourne hairpin. And in fact, yes, Bottini with a late dive down the inside, Rally Duchy trying to get the over-under done, but there is not a lot of room there for Rally Duchy to go through. In the field, extremely bunched up here from Lily Yoshimi all the way to, I believe that's Josh Ransom in 17th. No, that was the 434 of Land Cloud. So very much all of the positions still on offer here. But John Kilcoyne showing why he's leading the championship, just avoiding all the contacts, saying thank you very much for giving me the track position, and he now leads from Robin Robinson by about a second and a half. After all that, JP Barreto up into a podium position, but still battling hard with Teemu Pessinen, the lead Ginetta, on the grid in fourth place. Christopher Douglas, much like John Kilcoyne, says thank you very much for all the carnage. I will take all of those positions. And from 17th, has a top 5 position in the 718. But here's where all the action is, all on the back straight, side by side, so many drivers. Rally Duchy still hanging on to position from Giancarlo Bottini. These two Ginettas will not stop fighting. A big oversteer moment though from Rally Duchy, finally allowing the Firebrand Ginetta to go through, and there is more contact there between the Firebrand Ginetta of Liam Blanchard, Lily Yoshimi, and Rally Duchy. Dr. Porkchop almost getting caught up as well as he works his way through after getting caught up in that incident at that same corner. More contact. Hezzy Thomas into Rally Duchy. So Dr. Porkchop back into a top 10 position. Scarlett Brown trying to fight back as well. And that's Hezzy Thomas going wide through turn 1, allowing the easy position for Scarlett Brown. But behind, Liam Blanchard takes full advantage as well and goes through. He's got a 9th place spot. Everything's still on offer here. No position is settled. Don't look away from this one, folks, as anything can change in a blink of an eye here. And as we say that, Lily Yoshimi and Dr. Porkchop getting involved in a little bit of a kerfuffle there, with Dr. Porkchop once again coming off the worst for wear, going deep into the gravel, but back on track ahead of Hezzy Thomas. And here is Lily Yoshimi defending to the inside, takes the inside line away from Liam Blanchard, and Scarlett Brown also trying to work through as well. Yeah, sometimes that's just what happens, Duarte. It's a lot can happen with 20 cars on track with very similar pace too. Because here we see about 8 cars all in one shot, all in one straightaway. But hopefully a little bit of better luck for you in race number 2. Let's ride on with the wing of the McLaren in the VTubers with Disabilities McLaren. Scruffing a little bit too much speed into the old hairpin, positioning the car just so that it's as difficult for the cars to make their way through. Very bouncy out of the corner there, and a little bit of an overlap here for the Ginetta to go through. Liam Blanchard down the inside gets the position. Scarlett Brown trying to follow as well. That is the Ginetta in the Firebrand going through and into 7th place behind Dr. Porkchop and Scarlett Brown side by side. Lily Yoshimi defending to the inside as Dr. Porkchop going a little bit wide there. Now battling with Prakash Natasan, and he in fact gets the position, and into a top 10 spot goes the 82 AMG. But goes a little bit deep into turn 11 and gives the position back to Dr. Porkchop. I should say back, but they are going to continue fighting down this little straightaway and into the final corner here. Side by side they go. Dr. Porkchop leaving plenty of room around the inside there. And they're still going to continue to go side by side, or no, Dr. Porkchop has the overlap and gets the position. And Lily Yoshimi getting shuffled back now to 14th place. Not sure what happened there. There was a little bit of dust kicked up at that final corner. Maybe that was the McLaren going off there. Oh, and we might have a change for the lead here, as Robin Robinson is trying to fight with John Kilcoyne for that top spot. The Firebrand Ginetta holds on for the meantime as they go down Starkey Straight and into the S's. John Kilcoyne defending the inside line. Great defensive posture there, showing that he was going there the entire time, didn't switch it up too late, and continuing on in the race lead, but certainly under pressure from the Porsche of Robin Robinson. Eight and a half minutes remaining in race number 1, and a little bit of side-by-side overlap between John Kilcoyne and Robinson. Robinson with the inside into the old hairpin. John Kilcoyne leaves plenty of space. Great move from Robinson, line it up from the top of the hill and gets back into the lead. Chris Saunderson versus Rally Dutchy. Saunderson, the Audi up the inside. And there's the move done for the number 18. Moves up to 12th. Just up the road, Landcloud trying to get into a top 10 spot ahead of Prakash Natasan. Still very tightly packed between 7th to 11th here. Absolutely anything can happen. Dr. Porkchop ahead of Prakash Natasan as these two continue to battle. And instead of attacking Dr. Porkchop, Natasan now has to worry about Landcloud behind, who might sneak a move up the inside. Natasan leaving a little bit of space. Oh no, that's one of the KTMs in the background off there. I believe that was Callum Flood. And yeah, with how tight the field is here, Lily, one little mistake might lose you quite a few places. Seen that on a handful of occasions. This is what the back of the race leader is seeing. John Kilcoyne still looming close behind. So Robin Robinson doesn't want to necessarily overdrive this one, as John Kilcoyne is out of the S's. He goes wide, slowing down the progress of the 44 Aston Martin. Oh no, it looks like the KTM of Landcloud and Christopher Douglas getting involved in a little bit of an incident at turn 8. Chris Douglas was running very well up inside the top 10. Natasan, the inside of Dr. Porkchop. Seen that move before to get done at the hairpin, and we have seen it again. This time Natasan trying to defend the position, but going deep into the final hairpin might allow Dr. Porkchop a sneaky little move here into turn number 1. Doing no such thing. As JP Barreto drops to 4th, that promotes Pessinen in the 111 Ginetta to that final podium position. Still continuing to battle for this position is Dr. Porkchop. Natasan going wide out of turn 8, slowing down his momentum onto the grass. Dr. Porkchop says thank you very much, and back into 8th place goes the Aston Martin. And once again down the inside, Natasan at the hairpin, but a little bit too deep this time. Dr. Porkchop gonna battle it out side by side into the final corner. Goddard's, they go. Natasan trying to hang on to the inside. Dr. Porkchop leaving him plenty of space, and they're gonna continue to go side by side down the Wheatcroft Straight into the first corner. A lot more of an overlap for Dr. Porkchop to try and get the move done here. He sticks his nose in, can't or doesn't allow the AMG to turn in. And that is the position defended by Dr. Porkchop. That defense started all the way from the 11th corner. These two still going to continue to battle in the final 2.5 minutes. With Robin Robinson in the lead after 10 laps, able to get a pretty decent 2-second advantage over John Kilcoyne. And then he has a 7-second gap over Teemu Pessinen in third. JP Barretto sits in fourth. Giancarlo Bottini, after starting from the back of the grid, up into the top 5. Liam Blanchard in the 84 Sister Fire brand Ginetta in 6th. Then Scarlett Brown in 7th, up ahead of Dr. Porkchop and Prakash Natasan, battling here for 8th and 9th place. Chris Saunderson rounds out the top 10, then Rally Dutchy in 11th, Christopher Douglas in 12th, Josh Ransom in 13th, Len Cloud behind him. Then you've got John Baptist in 15th, Hezi Thomas 16th, Callum Flood in 17th, Lily Yoshimi 18th, and Duarte Manhita out from the early goings in the pit lane still. Or not in the pit lane, he's out on track, getting the track knowledge down, getting himself warmed up for the next qualifying session. As Dr. Porkchop giving up the position to Prakash Natasan in those hairpin sections, but has 2 more laps to defend this place. Just up the road, Scarlett Brown trying to catch up to Liam Blanchard to get up to 6th place. Also, JP Barretto closing in on Teemu Pessinen for that final podium position. Robin Robinson will cross the line with 30 seconds left on the clock, so there will be one final lap left to determine the final standings of race number 1. Lots of battles going on up and down the field here. Here is the battle for the final podium position. Teemu Pessinen in that pink Ginetta ahead of JP Barretto. Lily Yoshimi getting a 30-second stop-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane. The next close battle, we have Liam Blanchard versus Scarlett Brown, Ginetta versus Porsche. The 84 trying to hang on to 6th. And then just behind, Dr. Porkchop and Prakash Natasan continuing to battle in their ongoing skirmish. But a little bit too far back here is Dr. Porkchop. That gap opening up to around 2 seconds. So into the final set of corners we go. Just one sector left for these two drivers to determine their grid position. Will JP Barretto have a late last-minute send? I think it's just too far back to do it into that corner, hoping for something to open up and present itself his way, but I think Teemu Pessinen has defended that position quite well, as Robin Robinson in the 24 Porsche takes the checkered flag in first place. Lost the race lead at the beginning, but got it back. John Kilcoyne next across the line in second place. Teemu Pessinen on debut takes a podium in the 111. And same with Robin Robinson on debut for the race win. JP Barretto, close finish in fourth between him and Pessinen. Giancarlo Bottini in fifth. Then Liam Blanchard able to hang on to sixth from Scarlett Brown in seventh. Then Prakash Natasan recovering up to eighth. Dr. Porkchop to ninth. Chris Saunderson next in the Audi in 10th takes the checkered flag. Taking the flag earlier, you have Callum Flood and Lily Yoshimi receiving a 60-second penalty for not serving that stop-go 30. Rally Duchy across the line in 11th. Then you've got Josh Ransom in 12th. Christopher Douglas in the lone Camaro on the grid this evening takes 13th place. Len Cloud with a few corners between him and the checkered flag, as Hezzy Thomas will be next across the line in the number 59 to take 16th place. Len Cloud across the line in 14th, and John Baptist will be the last driver to take the checkered flag in 15th in the Trinity Racing number 7 Porsche. After 13 laps, that is race number 1 completed. And if that wasn't exciting enough for you, we're going to do it all over again. 15-minute qualifying coming up with a 20-minute race to follow once again. Certainly lots of action in that one from start to finish. Quite some moments there. Lots of yellow flags being waved as the second qualifying session is underway, with the sun setting here at 7 p.m. local time. JP Barreto, one of the first drivers out on track in the number 6. Just behind Lily Yoshimi in the number 79. And it's been such an exciting event, I'm already out of tea. Slightly cooler conditions than we saw in the first qualifying session. Will we see faster lap times than we did in qualifying number 1? As these two will be the first to start their flying laps. Imo Pessinen not too far behind this group of cars as well, looking to get their first laps in. Now with the second qualifying session underway, Giancarlo Bottini does not have to serve a qualifying penalty, so he will be able to start where he qualifies. Although he got a great top 5 finish in race number 1. So where will this accelerated qualifying position see Giancarlo Bottini as he takes out one of the cones? Oh my goodness, you madman! Liam Blanchard taking a 6th place finish in race number 1. A good drive, all things considered, from outside the top 10 for the number 84. Alrighty, let's see those times. Ladies and gentlemen, Lily Yoshimi first, Giancarlo Bottini next, a 136.195 from the Ginetta. JP Barreto unable to get a valid lap on the board. Teemu Pessinen goes quickest to 1:36.082. Next, you have the 87 of Callum Flood, able to get ahead of Lily Yoshimi by just a few hundredths of a second. As Duarte Manita looking to get some better fortune in here in race number 2. Wishing you all the best, my friend, in the number 77 NM Racing, going through the end of Sector 2. 77 qualified well in race number 1. Where will we see him in race number 2? Dr. Porkchop goes 3rd, Scarlett Brown to 4th, Chris Saunderson gets inside the top 5, Prakash Natasan in 6th, Landcloud 7th, Callum Flood 8th, Lily Yoshimi in 9th. That is all we have on the board so far. Doesn't look like we have any quali bans here in race number 2. Great to see. As John Kilcoyne makes it an all Aston Martin 2nd row as he goes 4th. Splits Dr. Porkchop and Scarlett Brown. And then Robin Robinson actually now goes up to 3rd ahead of Dr. Porkchop and John Kilcoyne. Duarte unable to get a valid lap on the board, but it would have been good enough for right around 6th place. So a good starting point for Manhita to improve on. Chris Saunderson now getting shuffled down to 8th. He lies about a 10th and a half behind Scarlett Brown. Can he find that time on this lap? Still, of course, lots of time left, 9.5 minutes, but he does it right on cue. Up to 7th, and now just a few hundredths, actually less than a hundredth of a second, separate him and John Kilcoyne. Oversteer out of turn 1. Can he keep out of the wall? He can. Scarlett Brown looking to take that position right back and takes more than that one. Gets ahead of both Aston Martins up to 5th. JP Barreto on the board gets his AMG up to 3rd. Still waiting from time, from Manhita, Hezi Thomas, and John Baptist. As Robin Robinson goes to the top spot, a 1:35.445, the time to beat, about 0.6 clear of Teemu Pessinen. And Giancarlo Bottini wants to be the fastest Ginetta as he goes up to 2nd. Clears Pessinen by about 0.3 of a second. Fortunately, Pessinen won't have an answer on this lap as he is on an invalid lap. Perhaps also just on an out lap here. As we look alongside the Dog Box Racing KTM, see if Hezi can get a time on the board on this lap here. And he does get a time on the board, about 0.6 behind Christopher Douglas. He sits in 17th place. Rally Duchy out of the final corner into the sunset, looking for a big improvement on this lap, losing a little bit of grip out of the corner, a little bit of momentum, but still a personal best here for Rally Duchy, a 1:38.110. John Kilcoyne, can he say something about the Ginettas at the top? He can. Goes to the front row, about 0.06 behind Robin Robinson's pole position time. Liam Blanchard in 7th in the 84. Sitting about a 0.1 behind Scarlett Brown in 6th. and about 13 thousandths of a second ahead of Dr. Porkchop behind. Can't find an improvement on this lap. Still 6.5 minutes left in the qualifying session for him to do so. So a quick run down the order. Robin Robinson on provisional pole for the time being. Then John Kilcoyne in second. Giancarlo Bottini in third. Teemu Pessinen behind in fourth. Barretto fifth. Scarlett Brown sixth. Liam Blanchard here in seventh place. Dr. Porkchop sits in eighth. Chris Saunderson in ninth. Josh Ransom rounds out the top 10. Then you got Prakash Natasan, Land Cloud, Callum Flood in 13th. Rally Dutchy in 14th. Hezzy Thomas sits inside the top 15 after getting a big improvement on his last lap. Gets ahead of Lily Yoshimi in 16th and Christopher Douglas in 17th. Still waiting for valid laps from Duarte Manita and John Baptist. And Liam Blanchard coming up to the back of Christopher Douglas, electing to give a little bit of space here. Clear up some room to get him some clean air in front in the closing 5 minutes of the qualifying session. From one Ginetta to the next, it's Joshua Ransom here with a few corners left. See if he can solidify his position inside the top 10. Currently sits right on the cusp in 10th. Needs 2 tenths to get ahead of Dr. Porkchop, and he does more than that. He moves all the way up to 7th ahead of Blanchard, Porkchop, and Chris Saunderson. Scarlett Brown out of the final corner, a little bit wide, and unable to get the improvement on this lap. It's still a good starting position on the third row next to JP Barretto. The V8 Racing Camaro of Christopher Douglas needs a few tenths to get ahead of Lily Yoshimi. Can he find them on this lap? Time is certainly running out here. Just 3.5 minutes left. Some of the drivers might get lucky to have 3 laps to go in their qualifying. A lot of the drivers back in the pits and happy with their position. Will we see another late charge from any of the drivers? As Chris Douglas oversteers out of the final corner, losing a bit of time and unable to find any gains on this lap. John Baptist does get a valid lap on the board, so it is now just Duarte Manita without a valid lap on the board. And I am certainly putting the pressure on him by mentioning that a few times, so I apologize if that is getting to you, but that's just my job to state the facts. We saw Dr. Porkchop do it in the last qualifying. Does he have a late charge in him? He moves up to 4th, gets to the 2nd row. It's a good lap from him, improves on his personal best by significant margin there. I think it was about an 8 tenths of an improvement. And as it is very tight from 1st to 9th place, separated by about 1.1 seconds. And how about that? Applying the pressure, and it worked. Duarte Manita gets a spot in the top 5. So Lily Yoshimi here with just 1 corner left to try and get an improvement on this lap. We'll have 1 more after this one as the time is below 90 seconds and it takes About 95 seconds to complete a lap here. Lily Yoshimi does get an improvement, moves ahead of the KTM of Hezi Thomas. Dr. Porkchop here. Oh, in contact with Land Cloud, pushing them both wide. And unfortunately, that is going to be the session done for the pair of them. Duarte Manita looking for the late charge. He comes across the line with about 40 seconds left and still improving his time by a few tenths up to third, despite going a little bit wide at the final corner. So if he can stick it nice and comfortably through this lap, he should be able to get a few, maybe 1 or 2 tenths out of that final corner. Top 2 in the pits, Robinson and Kilcoyne. Manhita still on track, 4th to 7th in the pits as well. Nope, not able to change their position there. They're currently back in the pits getting their race setups loaded. Timer hits 0. This is the last lap for our GT4 rookies to get their times on the board. Liam Blanchard sits in 10th. Needs a 10th and a half to get ahead, and he's not going to do so because he dives into the pit lane. Prakash Natasan sits in 12th. 2 tenths is what's needed for him to get inside the top 10, and 17 thousandths is all that's needed to get ahead of Chris Saunderson in 11th place. Just 1 corner left. Unfortunately, Manhita invalidating his lap, so it is just Prakash Natasan and the 59 of Hezi Thomas left on valid laps. Prakash can't get the grip out of the final corner. No time gained here for the 82. And can Hezi Thomas get a do-or-die lap here? Slinging it into that final corner. And up to the line, can't get the improvement there, so 17th is where the 59 KTM will start. Oh, wow, I've done goofed. Fortunately, we're going to have this until that session timer's up. So I apologize. We're going to have a slightly covered up grid walk, if you will. So, fortunately, not going to be able to see the team names here, but I will do my best to remember. Apologies there. Roman Robinson starts from pole position in the 24 Porsche, as they did in race number 1, looking to do the same in race number 2 and take that race win. John Kilcoyne starts alongside them in the 44 Aston Martin. This is your championship leader after 3 rounds. Up until this point, he represents the Firebrand team. And then next you have Duarte Manhita in the 77 AMG getting the lap in at the closing minutes of the session after not getting a valid lap on the board for about 10 to 12 minutes. Alongside him on the second row is Giancarlo Bottini, able to use his pace here to start in a good qualifying position. He finished inside the top 5, starting from the back of the grid. Where will we see the number 57 Firebrand Ginetta in race number 2? Dr. Porkchop starts inside the top 5 in the 71 Chop Shop Racing Aston Martin. Alongside him, podium sitter from race 1, Teemu Pessinen in the 111 Ginetta starting from 6th. Then you have João Pedro Barreto in the number 6 AMG starting from 7th. The number almost matches the position there. Scarlett Brown next in the 742 2, starting from 8th place. Josh Ransom in the 325 sits in 9th, and it is an all Janetta 5th row with the number 84 starting inside the top 10. And now I can hit drive and we'll be able to see the liveries of those starting from 11th and back. Chris Saunderson starts from 11th in the number 18 Allison Racing. Prakash Natasan next in the 82 Dark Side Racing starts from 12th. Then you got Land Cloud in the number 343 KTM, making it a KTM. 7th row is Callum Flood in the Apex GP number 87. There we go. Rally Dutchy in the 621, starting from 15th place. In the Kuzata Racing Academy Janetta. Next is Lily Yoshimi in the VTubers with Disabilities number 79, number 79 McLaren, starting from 16th place. Then Hezzy Thomas in the dog box number 59, starting from 17th. Christopher Douglas alongside on the 9th row in the 718 Lone Camaro, with John Baptist rounding out the grid in the number 7 Trinity Racing Porsche. So the whole grid's a big Porsche sandwich from Robin Robinson at the front to John Baptist at the back. We've got all kinds of toppings inside Aston Martins, AMGs, Janettas, Scarlet Brown providing a good little middle bun in the 742 Porsche there in 8th. Here's how the grid looks behind the number 24 Porsche at the front of the grid, looking to get things started here. This time John Kilcoyne starts right behind. Where will we see race winner from the first race this evening here? Will it be another 24 Porsche finish on the front? John Kilcoyne changed things. Can Duarte Manhita change things up as well? Hopefully a little more fortune for him here in race number 2, as it gets pretty dark here. 8 p.m. local time, headlights on for the drivers. And out of the Melbourne Hairpin, they line up side by side and looking to go racing here. Another 20 minutes of action. Hopefully a little more clean than we saw in race number 1. Let's see how it goes down. Robin Robinson leading the grid. Bit of a long run up until the green lights here. And Rally Dutchy going back to the pits there.
Go, go, go.
There we have the green flag waving. The green lights are on. 20 minutes continue to count down. And Robin Robinson defending down the inside. Duarte Manhita looks to do the same from Giancarlo Bottini. Teemu Pessinen nearly losing the back of his Janetta, but able to keep it under control as he has to slot behind. And contact, can he get it stopped before rejoining? He can. Great car control from him there, but unfortunately that was Scarlett Brown going heavily into the wall in the 742 Porsche. So Manhita gets his positioning in third, and Dr. Porkchop with a move down the inside goes a little bit deep. Can Giancarlo Bottini fight back? He can. He gets that place back, just staying confident to his line. and gets ahead, and John Kilcoyne challenging for the lead of the race. He's gonna have to do it the long way around, and it's very tricky to find the grip as he finds himself a little bit out of position here. And Manhita, it's Duarte Manhita down the inside of turn 11, trying to get the move done, but he goes deep. Giancarlo Bottini goes deep, and now John Kilcoyne looks to fight back with the AMG to hang on to second. Can Duarte get ahead? He once again goes a little bit deep. John Kilcoyne with the over-under attempt though, and it is Aston versus AMG behind as well, with JP Barreto and Dr. Porkchop battling for that final top 5 spot. Manhita down to the inside. John Kilcoyne having to go the long way around again, and Manhita almost unsettling the car out of the exit of turn 1. But he maintains track position ahead of John Kilcoyne. Oh, contact between the two Ginettas. That's Bottini and Josh Ransom. JP Barreto looking to get ahead of Dr. Porkchop in this battle for 5th and 4th place. Getting a little bit unsettled at the curb at McLean's. As there is once again plenty of action here in race number 2 to start things off. JP Barreto just sticks back here. Dr. Porkchop taking the S's very effectively there, as Josh Ransom getting shuffled back to 9th behind Chris Saunderson and Liam Blanchard. Prakash Natasan lining up the move down the inside, and behind it's Teemu Pessinen lining up John Baptist for a move down the inside. Unfortunately, they're the 111 getting shuffled down to 12th place from the start. Our podium sitter from race 1 looking to make up ground. Chris Douglas runs deep at the final corner onto the grass, and now side by side with John Baptist, the 111 Ginetta of Pessinen does go through. And the Camaro able to maintain position ahead of John Baptist. That's the battle for 12th and 13th place, as John Kilcoyne once again all over the back of Duarte Manhita. Continuing down Starkey Straight, behind it's JP Barreto side by side with Giancarlo Bottini as he looks to get back inside the top 5 and does so. Gets the position ahead of the AMG and looking ahead to Dr. Porkchop now, but JP Barreto knows how to race. He will not give up that position easy. He is going to try to hang on to the back of the Ginetta as best as possible. And up ahead, John Kilcoyne gets through Duarte Manhita for 2nd place. With these two continuing to battle, that's going to bring in Dr. Porkchop a little bit closer to the back of this battling podium sitters. Land Cloud and Lily Yoshimi having a battle here for 14th or 15th. 14th and 15th. The KTM gets the position ahead in the 3-4-3. On the last lap, also Josh Ransom got ahead of Chris Saunderson to 8th, so he now has the Firebrand Ginetta of Liam Blanchard up ahead, just about a 2.5 seconds up the road. From one Ginetta to the next, the 111 Teemu Pessinen looking to get back inside the top 10. His next target is Prakash Natasan there in the 82 AMG. Now with John Kilcoyne getting ahead of Duarte Manita, he's got some clean air. He puts in the fastest lap of the race, a 136.167 on that last go-around, and he is looking to go even quicker still. He is gaining a lot of time on Robin Robinson and gained Robin Robinson up in first place ahead, gaining about 7/10 on that previous lap. So Bottini in 5th place here, down a place from where he started in 4th, swapping places with the 71, but he is looking very rapid out of the old hairpin. The Ginetta carrying so much speed. Dr. Porkchop takes the inside line, but here up the hill into McLean's they go. Bottini forces his car there. They're forced to go side by side, but can't keep the speed along the inside. Good defensive move from Dr. Porkchop. Keeps the racing line, keeps the momentum for this all-important straightaway here before the S's. And now, continuing on this battle for 4th and 5th, still lots up for grabs. JP Barreto looming in the distance too. He is not far off. That purple car looking very ominous in this setting sun. And Josh Ransom has caught up to the back of Liam Blanchard, and I think there was contact. Let's take a look real quick. Oh, and Liam Blanchard just trying to slow the car down, getting tagged by Josh Ransom and spinning around the wrong way as Ransom, not the way he wanted to get that place, I am sure, but up to 7th he goes. Then Chris Saunderson, Teemu Pessinen, Prakash Natasan, Chris Douglas, so many drivers going through. Liam Blanchard behind Land Cloud in the KTM as well. So Bottini and Dr. Porkchop continuing their battle. This is the part of the track where the Ginetta is certainly stronger than the Aston Martin, but Dr. Porkchop able to hang on to that spot. Teemu Pessinen got ahead of Prakash Natasan, and he is already taking the next name off the list. Chris Saunderson, they go side by side, down Starkey Straight, into the S's they go, but the Audi just has so much straight line speed, and with that V10, the Ginetta forced to tuck back in. Prakash Natasan trying to take full advantage as well, but there is just nowhere for the AMG to go. Bottini momentarily ahead of Dr. Porkchop. He's got the inside. He goes deep though, allows Dr. Porkchop to try the over-under move, but not a lot of grip there on offer for the Aston Martin, as Giancarlo Bottini able to get 4th place on that previous lap. But I'm sure Dr. Porkchop will know the weak spots of that Ginetta and look to expose it. And now, with all of this battling going on, JP Barreto licking his lips at any opportunity that might present itself up ahead. And getting a good run out of turn 8, but unfortunately for him, pretty evenly matched in the top speed department with that Aston Martin of Dr. Porkchop, so unable to take advantage of that good exit he got. As Teemu Pessinen gets through the Audi, and he is already on the back of Josh Ransom. This is a great 4-car battle for the final positions inside the top 10. Chris Saunderson trying to sneak through the inside, and there's contact side by side, throwing Teemu Pessinen out wide, and now having to tuck back in behind Prakash Natasan. So Pessinen, with all that work to do, once again finding himself behind the AMG of Prakash Natasan. So Prakash has seen this battle once before. Will he be able to defend Teemu Pessinen, though? Absolutely sending it down the old hairpin. Oh, but just can't keep the grip. Can he keep the car under control? He can, still point it in the right way. And able to keep things going. Up ahead, though, Giancarlo Bottini struggling with grip out of Coppice as they go side by side down Starkey straight into the S's. Dr. Porkchop has the inside for the first part. Can he get fourth place back? He can! And JP Barreto sends it down the inside of turn 11, trying to get it stopped. He gets it stopped, but Giancarlo is going to fight for that place back. Into the final corner they go. AMG down the inside. Dr. Porkchop just ahead up the road. It's so tricky to find the grip around the outside for Giancarlo, and getting a little bit bumped on the way as well. So that is JP Barreto up to 5th. Bottini losing a few places on that lap. Oh, and a bump to the back of the AMG. And good sportsmanship there from Giancarlo, just holding up a little bit, allowing JP to get the car back on track and maintain that position. Always lovely to see that sportsmanship at play. Chris Saunderson, now he challenging Josh Ransom for 7th place. That gap opening up a little bit to Prakash Natasan and Teemu Pessinen in their battle for 9th and 10th place. There's a swap for the lead. John Kilcoyne gets ahead of Robin Robinson. And now the Firebrand Ginetta leads from the 24 Porsche. Oh, and a late move from the Porsche goes very deep and into the gravel. Back on track they go with Manhita, now about a second and a half behind. From one Firebrand car to the next, the Ginetta of Giancarlo Bottini trying to get the place once again around the outside of JP Barreto, but he goes deep, opens up the switchback, and Giancarlo Bottini takes full advantage of that opening, says thank you very much, I'll take that top 5 place back. Manhita gets a drive-through for track limits. No! He was driving so well up in 3rd, putting up a great consistent drive. And here, getting punished with a drive-through for track limits in the final 5 minutes of the race. So after Manhita getting close to the back of Robinson in their potential battle for 2nd, Manhita getting a drive-through. I believe he's going to have to serve that within the next couple of laps. Unless he decides not to, I think it's just going to add 30 seconds to his race time, which all in all might be a little bit better than driving through the entire pit lane. So he's got 2 laps left. We unfortunately have more than 2 laps in the race left, so he is definitely going to have to take a slow trundle down the pit lane to serve that drive-through. And it's such a shame because Duarte was getting so close to the back of the Porsche here. Would have been fun to see this battle develop. But unfortunately, costly penalty there. John Kilcoyne got the lead a few laps ago here and able to pull out a 3.5 second gap as he goes through Hezzy Thomas driving with no lights on. Looking. Or is that Callum Flood? That might be Callum Flood. They have very similar colors on their car. Apologies, that is Callum Flood in the Apex GP. No lights for the KTM. That could just be a glitch on our end, of course. He may have a well and fully lit car up ahead of him, going wide out of turn 11. As he kindly offers the position to 2nd and 3rd place. And unfortunately there, yes, once again we get the reminder for the 77. Have to serve that drive-through. A lot of gaps opening up here in the late stages of race number 2. But lots of fantastic battling earlier on. And continuing on without any lights is Callum Flood. Josh Ransom in the 325. Just trying to get closer and closer, perhaps apply a little bit of pressure to JP Barreto. And right as we say that, a little bit of dust getting kicked up from the AMG, allowing the Ginetta to get closer and closer here. And it goes from bad to worse for the 77 as he gets his drive-through upgraded to a stop-go for continuous cutting of the track. And we hear lots of drivers going into the gravel there. Josh Ransom, unfortunately, his efforts getting slowed down to catch up to JP Barreto, and Duarte Manita in the pits to serve that stop-go 30. Up at the front, John Kilcoyne running wide out of turn 1. That gap is closing down to within a second between Robin Robinson for 2nd place and John Kilcoyne in the lead. Still absolutely everything to play for here this evening. Will we see the same top 2 as we did in race 1, or will it be shuffled around here? John Kilcoyne defending down the inside of turn 8, heavily over the curbs, but still has a good amount of grip out of the corner. Robin Robinson does as well. Where will the cars position themselves? John Kilcoyne wants the inside, and he will get the inside, not allowing any room for the switchback to happen. In fact, getting bumped along the way by Robin Robinson. That was a great defensive move thrown by John Kilcoyne. Hello, Philip. Sorry, missed your follow earlier. Thank you for being here. Hope you're doing well. You tuned in at a great moment in this battle for the top 2, and it's a battle that's going to rage on into the final corner. John Kilcoyne defending for his life. A great defensive posture thrown by John Kilcoyne to finish ahead of Robin Robinson by just 1/10 of a second. Dr. Porkchop takes another podium in this 2026 season of the rookies. JP Barreto in 4th. Josh Ransom not quite close enough to challenge there, but Giancarlo Bottini finishes within half a second in 6th. Chris Saunderson next in 7th. Prakash Natasan in 8th, hanging on just by about 0.3 of a second. Teemu Pessinen with a great comeback drive to finish in 9th. Liam Blanchard, will he finish inside the top 10? Yes, because Lily Yoshimi is a lap down. This is not for position. So Liam Blanchard finishes inside the top 10. Lily Yoshimi takes the checkered flag in 16th place. Scarlett Brown also doing so in 15th. Next, after that costly stop-go penalty, it's Duarte Manhita across the line in 11th place. Christopher Douglas, haven't mentioned his name a lot here in race number 2. He will get a 12th place finish. And next is Hezzy Thomas in the 59 KTM across the line in 13th. With John Baptist, once again, the last driver to take the checkered flag in the Trinity Racing number 7 Porsche. He's got a 14th place finish to his name here in race number 2. John Kilcoyne, another win to his name. That's number 3 on the season for him. As we will love to invite all of our podium sitters into the green room for a quick chat of how your guys' race went on. And if you're not feeling it, no worries at all. The podium sitters, we got John Kilcoyne, Robin Robinson, Dr. Porkchop takes 3rd here in race number 2, as opposed to Teemu Pessinen, who finished in that 3rd spot in race number 1.
Green light, go, go, go.
Take it back to our lovely studio here at Trackalicious. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. Certainly a lot more chaotic race 1 than number 2. But we got there in the end. The doctor is in. Hello, Dr. Porkchop. Welcome in. So far, it's just you.
Guys. Oh, that's too bad.
Well, you know, that's just how it goes some days. But a great fight from you there in race number 2. You had some Janettas in front of you, the AMGs, picking up a few places from where you started in 5th.
Yeah, I have to admit, my blood was a little pumped up after that first race. I felt slightly mistreated, but hey, it happens.
Yeah, we saw it. Yeah,
I was quite motivated. In race 2 to at least try and get a podium, but it wasn't easy. It was a heck of a fight all the way up.
Yeah, you certainly had to fight for it, and a lucky penalty for you as well for one of the drivers up in front, costing them
lucky.
that spot.
There's no way I was going to catch up. Yeah.
So yeah, just that's kind of how it goes some days. You just kind of play your cards right, and you finish there. So we saw a lot of new faces here tonight as well. A lot bigger grid than we're used to seeing. So a lot tighter,
Some really
a lot more battles
too. So that's great.
Yeah, 100%. It's super great to see. I think the gap between 1st to 9th was within a second of each other. So it's all up and down a very tight grid. So really anybody can finish in the top 10, any positions at all. We see Giancarlo did it from the back of the grid in race number 1, finishing in the top 5, and we saw a lot of jumbled up stuff there. Yep. But talk us through what it's like.
Be a heck of a season.
Yeah, we're already halfway there. So talk us through what it's like getting up to the halfway point, kind of the preparation you go through to get into a race like today.
I don't really get a lot of chance to practice, but it's like my 3rd season now in rookie, so I'm not really, I'm still a rookie by name only. So I'm starting to get used to the tracks, and so I just do a few laps before, maybe the day before a race, just to get warmed up and familiar again, and that's it. But this year, I don't know, something's clicked. I don't know, I feel the weight of the car better. Something's happening, and I'm getting faster time, so that's cool.
Yeah, switching from the Alpine also, I believe. That was a car you were usually running from last season. And I think the Aston Martin, just has just that slight little bit of a pace advantage over the Alpine as well. And you're certainly putting it to good use as well. So getting those podiums in, and I believe you're in the top 3 of the championship as well. So, and it's going to be even tighter and tighter as we get down to the end of it with that drop race to consider as well.
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun. So yes, definitely everybody stick around and keep watching the series as it goes on. Thank you for joining us tonight and all the work you do as well in the background to keep things running smoothly here. Thanks for joining us. A little bit of a shy podium this evening, but hey, that's just how it goes sometimes. And of course, Trackalicious doesn't end with the sim racing there. There's pretty much an event every night of the week. On Mondays here, we've got the rookies in the GT4s in ACC, and then tomorrow we switch to LMU in their GT3 only 40-minute sprint championship. And of course, signups for that and any other championships are open on SimGrid. So if you want to get yourself signed up, that is the place to go. Looking further down the week, on Wednesday, we've got the ACC Multiclass Championship in their 1 hour and 15-minute races this season, getting up to the halfway mark of the season. And it's a fun week as well. We are revealing the mystery track at the end of that stream as well. So be sure to stick around for the marble race that will determine the mystery track for round number 5. Cheers, Landcloud, for that hydrate. I am unfortunately all out of tea because the racing was very exciting and I already drank all of it. Oh, I have some sparkling water left. Bang. Cheers for that. So Wednesday, yes, multi-class GT3s, GT4s, mystery track announcement this week as well. Thursday, you've got the iRacing Championship in their multi-class, the GT3s and the GT4s. Friday, another multi-class series, but this time in LMU. It's the Hypercars and the GT3s in their enduro races. It's like 1 hour and 15 minutes, if I recall correctly. But yes, 3 days of multi-class action in a row. Saturday, you get a break from us, and then on Sunday we go to the MX5 Cup racing in iRacing, I should say, on Sundays. So get yourself signed up for that. Join the Discord. Get all the good stuff. Thanks for that hydrate, Philip, as well. Take the last little bit that's in here. Thanks for joining us. Oh, Philip, this is on PC. Sorry, I missed your question earlier. But yes, this is on PC. So hopefully that works for you and we can see your name right on the grid here in big letters. But yeah, get signed up. Do all the good stuff. And as always, thanks for being here with us. Thanks to all of the mods, the stewards, the admins doing all the hard work in the background to keep everything running nice and smooth for us here. Thanks to all of you guys watching along. And of course, thanks to all of the drivers participating. We really wouldn't be here without all of you guys putting on a show for us a week in and week out. And we really can't thank you enough for your continued participation in our Trackalicious sim racing events. And of course, Trackalicious has more than just those sim racing events. If you want to get yourself to a track day, head to trackalicious.com for all of the dates on offer there, as well as potential any deals and stuff from any of the Trackalicious affiliates. And thank you to all of you guys being affiliated with us as well. Let's stick around for the raid of Mr. Funky T-Bone, doing some beginner-friendly races in iRacing. Spread the love from one sim racing community to the next. Thank you, as always, for being here with us tonight. We will catch you on Wednesday for the ACC GT3 and GT4 multi-class stream then, or at least I will. Maybe there will be one tomorrow for LMU as well. But until then, stay safe. We'll see you then. Have a good one.